Hello, beautiful soul family. Rebecca here, your vibe mentor, bringing you another video to help you navigate life. This place is for purpose-driven entrepreneurs. This is where we help you remove the blocks that hold you back so that you can step into your purpose and manifest abundance through it. Today is one of my favorite days of the week, the Monday Magic Intuitive Energy Reading. I'm so excited to be here with you as always. I absolutely love this day. For those of you who are new here, this is just my intuitive take on what we are experiencing right now. I am not about predicting the future, although we will sort of revisit the past sometimes to kind of bring us up to speed and get a sense of what we're experiencing right now so that you can be reminded you are not alone in this. If you're not yet experiencing that, don't shoot the messenger. It may come soon, or you just may be in a different place in life, maybe riding a different train track. All right, so let's jump right in. The interesting messages that came through today sort of caused me to want to say that the message as well as the energy feels a bit disjointed, which is very interesting. Certainly the momentum is building. It has been building. We are still sort of pulling out of the funk that was the end of 2022 and of course the beginning of 2023. It feels relieved of some of that density, but yet it still lingers in a way. The momentum seems to be pulling us up and out of that. We do feel like we're moving towards some big aha moments, some big significant shifts that are measurable both externally as well as internally. A lot of the density or the heaviness that we've been sort of dealing with has caused us to go within and to be more introspective, to deal with things on an internal level so that we can see the shift on an external level. Although I will say, thank goodness, the external environment has started to show evidence of this shift and change. And it does feel that this momentum is pulling us towards even greater levels of that evidence in the coming weeks. As you know, if you've been with me for a while, I've been saying since the fall of 2022 that something big was coming in March, and it definitely feels like we are building towards that. What's interesting is we do also have the eclipse season coming in April and May. So while March may be sort of the kickoff, especially I'm guessing with the, not guessing, but I'm sensing, I guess you would say guessing is probably equally as valid, that the spring equinox will be a kickoff point. Although I do feel this is it's a progression. We're going to feel a little bit more momentum and a little bit more shift and change every day as we move closer and closer to whatever that shift and change is. Very rarely is it, a significant delineated line where you can say, okay, this was the moment that everything changed. Usually it's a progression. And so we feel baby steps towards whatever it is that's shifting and changing. And in hindsight, we can look back and go, oh yeah, okay, that's when it changed. But in the moment, it doesn't always feel like this is the moment that it shifted and changed. So be cautious of looking for that moment because you likely will be disappointed. That knowing that it's always two steps forward, one step back, which can kind of gray the line, and it can feel a bit blurry or fuzzy as we move through the different shifting and changing energies, for lack of better terms. All right. So what's interesting is with the momentum can come a sort of a frantic tendency, or I've noticed there's a lot of agitation. There's people kind of driving crazy, a little bit reckless, a little bit hasty, a little bit in a hurry, pushy, and momentum doesn't have to create that in your life. That when we notice the momentum building, it becomes our responsibility to navigate and transmute that energy. And, I do like to be science-based and use practical proven terms, but sometimes these are the terms that best describe them. Although I'll admit, consciously working on finding all of those grounded scientific terms so that we can keep open the hearts and minds of those who may not be willing to receive these words yet. So what that means, we have a responsibility to transmute the energy. To say that in more grounded terms, we have a responsibility for what we put out in the world. that if I encounter someone who is agitated or frustrated or feeling frantic because of the momentum that is building, I can then turn around and spread that and do the same to someone else. Or I can take responsibility for what I have been given, what I have received, and how I'm going to um, further distribute that tendency. Now, what that looks like in practical terms is putting space between the moment of receiving and the moment of giving, putting space between an experience and a reaction, recognizing this is what I've experienced. And now I'm going to take a couple deep breaths, be present in this moment, consciously decide how I want to continue to move throughout my day and what impact I want to have on others. That's what it means to transmute energy. It doesn't have to be this woo-woo thing. It really is just taking responsibility for what you put out into the world. And so recognizing that whether it's incoming solar flares or amplification in the wind or the barometric pressure or the K index, it doesn't matter. There's always ways to measure the energy or whatever we are experiencing so that we can understand that an amplification is natural. We're all feeling it, we're all experiencing it, and yet we also have a responsibility to putting our feet on the ground, to drinking water, to getting proper rest, to exercising when you feel an amplified energy so that you're not turning around and giving frustration or aggravation to someone else. Okay. So along with this can come some excitement, especially when we start to see evidence of shift and change around us. Now, remembering from a psychological standpoint, your brain will always find the evidence to prove whatever you believe, and where your focus goes, grows. And so it is up to us. Again, we have a responsibility with our creative our energies. We are creating all the time, whether we realize it or not. We are born to be creators. So just as we shift and choose how we want to share our energy or how we want to move throughout life, we are also in that moment of choice deciding what we are going to create. And if we are focused on the fact that the evidence around us points to the crumbling of the old systems or the destruction of the food factories or whatever it might be, then that will create more fear, which then means if we don't consciously choose to share and distribute different energy, to take the time to transmute that, then we are going to continue to feed that and spread more of that. So at the same time, our brain will find evidence of the fact that things are going quite well, that the crumbling of the old system is a good thing, and that my focus and attention on creating a business that helps people, my focus and attention on healing people every day, my focus and attention on growing my educational background so that we can create a new educational system, right? I'm using examples from my own life, but this can help you understand that if we focus on what we are growing and we are focusing on what we are creating that is positive and good, then we will find evidence that things are going in the right direction as well. And so remembering that we have the responsibility to choose what we focus on and what we choose to create more of. What we choose to focus on is what we are creating. That is what will grow. That is what we are creating. Yes. Okay. So ask yourself the question, what if it was all okay? What if it was working out perfectly? What if life was happening for you and not to you? What if you trusted that you are held, that you are cared for? What if everything was okay? Even as I ask that question, I can feel my body, your body releasing just a little bit. The tendency in the shoulders to relax, the heart to calm down, the nervous system takes it down a notch. And remembering from that place, that is your source of creation, that we are playing a significant role in how things are turning out right now, in every single moment, in this now, and in this now, and in this now. Every feeling that you feel is contributing to the trajectory of how things are going. And so we have to put down the fear porn. And when I get to the end of this, you'll understand what I meant. It's this sort of a disjointed message that I trust will all come together. But put down the fear porn. It is rotting your brain. And I promise you that was something that came through. This is not something that I personally desire to say to you. It doesn't sound sexy or appealing. But the truth of the matter is, what we put in is what comes out. And we have to be very conscious of that we are creators. We are manifesting all the time. And what we put in is going to be what we create. So yes, to some extent, we have to be aware of what's going on so that we can focus on creating something to replace that. But a constant influx of negative news, negative messages, negative beliefs, complainers, people who are reminding you all that's going wrong all the time is not helping. And you are playing a significant role in how this all turns out in every single moment of every single day. So shift your focus and attention towards what you want to grow. How do you want this to turn out? And how can you contribute towards the heaven on earth that you dream of? You don't have to boil the ocean. You're not responsible solely for fixing all of the world's problems, but you are made perfectly imperfect for a purpose. There was something that you were given that you are capable of doing that no one can do as well as you. Likely something that feels effortless to you because it is so second nature to you, because that is your purpose. That's where your focus should go. 90% of your day, if you have kids, maybe 40% of your day, the vast majority of your thinking and conscious focus and attention should be going towards the thing you want to build and grow, not towards the problems. So as the momentum builds, this is energy for us to use to focus on growing what we want to contribute to heaven on earth, the new systems, the new government, the new education, the new food systems, whatever it is you feel passionately about, most passionately about. Pick one to start. Multi-passion is a good thing. You'll end up making your soup of life. That's a whole nother video. I've got plenty of them on the channel. But for now, focus on what you want to grow. Focus on self-care. If you're not in a place where you can focus on what you're growing, focus on healing your internal environment. Focus on self-care. Glow up was one of the terms that came through. That's kind of where I'm at too. That the last couple of weeks have been very guided to fast, to heal, to rest, to really tune into that nervous system state and notice how making a cup of tea with love really turns on my body, makes me feel safe, makes me feel okay, right where I'm at. That glow up means lots of extra rest, lots of delicious, yummy compassion and kindness towards yourself, good food, nourishment, enjoying the moment, being present with my family, counting how many days do I have left with my kids before they're 12 or 14 and they don't need me anymore, counting how many days do I have left and how can I make today awesome and amazing. That's the glow up. Focus on making everything you can right here and right now awesome and amazing, because that is how we combat the corruption, the destruction, whatever we don't like, is through creating awesome and amazingness here and now. So focus on what are you creating? Knowing that your focus and attention grows and it creates more of the same. Ask yourself right now, where has your focus been? And what are you creating? Are you contributing in a positive way towards the trajectory you want to move into? Or are we growing and supporting the old that we want to die. So seize the day in a peaceful way. That was interesting when that one came through. Seize the day in a peaceful way. And what that's kind of saying is every moment, every here and now, every single now moment is an opportunity for you to seize that moment of creation and to make it amazing. So seize the day sounds very raw, right? I'm going to go to battle, go to war. But it can also be peaceful. I can say in every moment, I'm going to maximize the moment. And really ask yourself, are you loving the process? And I used to hate that term, love the process. I'm like, I'm sick and tired of being here right now. I don't want to love the process. I don't want to love this moment. I don't like it. It's very much the ego speaking out, saying, screw it, I'm going to make it happen, or at least I'm going to bitch and complain about it not happening. If you keep setting the intention to work towards loving the process, that tendency will eventually die as you use your focus and attention to focus on what you want to grow and seizing the moment, making every now magnificent. That old tendency will die. But it is really important that we are clear on what we are building. Another fun term that came through was we are the power to the battery, which is really interesting. We are the power to the battery. We are significantly contributing to how things go every single moment. We determine how things will turn out. Nothing is ever set in stone. Everything is always shifting and changing based on the collective frequency and vibration that is emanating from your body. Your emotions create emotion, energy, and motion. You are frequency and vibration. That is scientific. There is nothing woo-woo about that. Measurable. And just as the frequency of a beating drum can shift and change the patterns in the sand, it would be silly to think that how you are feeling right now is not contributing in some way to how all of this turns out. We are the power to the battery. We are the coal in the locomotive engine. That's interesting. That one just came through. We are choosing which direction we are sending the momentum. That's fun. And then to add to the just disjointed message, the next thing that came through was love your brother. Love your brother. Remember that they are a vast majority of them living in fear right now. That there is way too much judgment. Judgment for those who are not awake yet. Judgment for those who are not able to direct their creative energy. Judgment for those who are evil, right? We have to put down all judgment. There is never an excuse for ever claiming any single person ever deserves anything other than love, no matter how bad. Because we are all playing a role in this divine role play. And even those that you judge are playing their role perfectly. And judgment creates a negative frequency. It creates more negative output. It drives us in the opposite direction that we are trying to go. From a psychological standpoint, every single thing a person does comes from a place of believing that that is going to help them survive. So even choosing to refuse to see the truth, choosing to refuse to see the evidence of the world crumbling in front of their face, or whatever it is that you want to say, even that moment, that person deserves love. Pardon my hungry tummy. It wants to show up today. It's lunchtime. That's interesting. Every person is playing their role perfectly. And it is also helpful to remember that when we judge someone is because we are judging something in them we dislike in ourselves. Life is a mirror. We are projectors. We are projecting everything out of us. So everything you see around you is a reflection or a trigger or a mirror in some way to help you grow. So that moment where you see someone who you feel deserves to be judged, you don't believe in their belief system, you're not enthused by their exercise routine, you think they're overweight, you think they're dressed sloppily, whatever it is that you judge, it's an opportunity actually for you to exercise complete unconditional love. Because at the end of the day, you are creating that thing that you are feeling, that negative judgment that you feel towards that person is actually damaging, one, your body, and two, what you are creating, limiting what you are creating more negative, more of the same, more of the thing you're trying to move away from. So put down all judgment. We have to have boundaried love. That doesn't mean self-sacrificing. It doesn't mean overgiving. It doesn't mean allowing yourself to get hurt. It means acting kindly and compassionately with boundaries. You can still separate yourself from someone lovingly, compassionately. It's important to have compassion for yourself as well as the other in the attempt to do that. It was interesting because as I was receiving that boundaried love statement, the term faith, hope, and love came to mind, which caused me to search what Bible verse is that. I think I know that scripture somewhere. And it was Corinthians 13:13. And of course, that number has meaning. 1313 is a great number. 13 is a very powerful master number. But it was interesting because when I looked that up, it's not actually, if you look back in a earlier translation, the King James Version actually was faith, hope, and charity, not love, which is interesting because charity means to give, right? To give to those in need, even to the person who I paid and they haven't delivered on the services they promised. I could charge back. I could take that money back. Or I could act from charity and consider that a contribution, right? Even the number 1313, if you look at the angel number or the numerology of that number, it means there's a powerful connection to the divine. So to act with faith, hope, and love, faith, hope, and charity, whatever resonates for you, brings you closer to your powerful connection to the divine realm. The judgment, separation, the belief that others are bad to somehow elevate ourselves, all separates us from that divine connection that is available to us, which of course then led to the reminder that we are all one, that when you judge someone else, you're hurting yourself. That as we separate ourselves from each other, as we focus on the negative, we allow the momentum to drive us in the wrong direction. We are hurting ourselves, the collective whole. And then, of course, that led me to ask, well, what was that verse about us being one with the divine, one with God? And of course, another beautiful number came up. There are 38 Bible verses that point to the fact that we are one with God. God is in us and we are in God. Inseparable, as if the finger on God's body. And of course, the number 38 holds significant power to me, significance to me. It's come to me in many different ways. Maybe it was 833 or 388 or 883 or however, whatever combinations of threes and eights, but it kept coming and it kept coming. And I would search the definition and nothing ever really resonated. And I didn't fully understand it until finally one description said, use your magic, use your power. And what that finally clicked in my body, it finally resonated. And one of the biggest driving forces in why I started this channel, why I do the work that I do, is because we are one with the source of creation. We are powerful. We are the creators. We are the projectors, projecting all that we see around us. Everything that we think and feel emanates from us, has a creative force. We are the power to the battery. Where our focus goes, grows. Use your magic, use your authority. We were given dominion over this earth. Those who are evil or trying to keep us down cannot touch us. You are one with the source of creation. And the only thing that will win ultimately in the end is good. When you are vibrating at a high frequency, when you are focused on what you are creating, when you know you are one with the divine, when you get in touch with the vastness that is you, when you close your eyes and you feel the energy of your body, and then you expand out and you feel the energy around your body, and then you realize that you can keep expanding farther and farther and farther and farther until the expansiveness that is you can totally encapsulate the entire earth. There is a tremendous source of power that is untapped in you, being kept at bay, stifled, restrained by fear, judgment, separation, the fear porn that is rotting your brain. You are one with the source of creation. What is building, what is happening right now is for our good. And it is so amazing where we are headed. And we don't have to experience the slow burn of the disintegration of what is happening if we choose to put ourselves in a better place. Yes, be wise. Yes, have food, have water, but that's enough. You've spent enough time. If you've done those things, that's enough. Now create something. Create something good. Find your purpose. Heal yourself. Glow up. Feel awesome and amazing. Tap into the deliciousness that is the divine creation, both within and outside of you all the time. It's going to be so good. It's going to be so, so good. I love you, my friends. I will see you on the next video, whenever that may be. Sending you so, so much love. Create your heart away and let me know if you would love to join us in the New Earth Construction team. We are tapping into our amazing abilities all the time, and it is becoming a beautiful community where we help you heal the blocks that keep you from your purpose so that you can manifest abundance and assist in creating heaven on earth. We would love to see you there. Link below. Otherwise, I will see you on the next video. Make sure you do like, subscribe, and share if there's anyone that you think that could benefit from this message.